What's going on YouTube? Johnny here, back with another video for you guys. As always, hope everyone's been doing well. Today's video, we're making some pot roast. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the cooking. Alright, and before we begin, some of you may be wondering, I switched it up, so I'm wearing the beanie today. And the reason for that, got a haircut. So I had to mix it up a bit. May have to incorporate the Christmas mustache combo with the buzz cut, we'll see. But I'm wearing the beanie because my head is still getting acclimated to the new climate. It's cold, so gotta stay warm. But as far as the pot roast, so we have our chuck roast here. This is the best meat, I think, to do it with, and the marbling of the fat within the chuck roast helps keep it nice and moist and really contributes to the juiciness of it. You'll see, I'll explain what that setup right here is in a little bit. But for our seasoning, we have our kosher salt, garlic powder, onion powder. We're using black pepper. We have our onion soup mix and our cream of mushroom soup cans, and we are doubling the recipe, so that's why we have 2 of each. And then right here we have our beef broth. So up first, I'll go ahead and season both sides of the chuck roast, and then we'll brown it in the skillet. But yeah, hope everyone's been doing well and you guys are staying warm, because at least here in North Carolina it's been cold. But yeah, trying to stay warm, and my head's trying to stay warm too. So like I said, I'm gonna season this and I'll see you guys in the next bit. All right, so finished seasoning both sides. So then now what we do, we have our cast iron skillet. As you can see, the smoke coming off of that is nice and hot. So then we'll just brown that to get that a head start. Set this off to the side like this. And then, as I mentioned in the intro, this contraption right here is what we'll wrap the meat up in, and when we put it in the oven. You can do the pot roast in a crock pot. But that's an all-day thing. You got to get up, pretty much first thing in the morning and just cook that on a low temp for all day. And since I'm having a late start today, we're going to use the oven. And this is actually a really great recipe, kind of like a family thing. My grandma used to make it for my mom all the time, and now my mom passed it on to me, and now I'm making it for you guys. So there we go. That's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for that to brown, and then I'll see you in the next bit. Yeah, it smells really good already. And as I said, this is one of our favorite family meals, so always enjoy making this. What you want to look for is a nice sear like that, and then we'll flip that over. All right, now for what we'll do is for the gravy. So as I said, the cream of mushroom cans. Make sure we get all of that out. Here we go. And let me know if this is something you guys do with the cans, the covers or the lids of them. I always just rinse them off at the top. I don't know if it's a little kitchen nuance here, but to each their own. So what we'll do, we'll dump that out, so that's good. And then we have our, all right, we're back in action. The cameraman shot me a strange look when I was dumping the cream of mushroom soup out, and the reason being the one's a different color. So she shot me a strange look, and the reason for that is because one is healthy, low sodium, low salt, and the other is just the regular. But you know what? It's never a bad thing to be too safe, and taste testing is always a must when you're cooking food. So we had to make sure everything was good, and then came to the realization afterwards. So we're all good, back up and running. So that's that. As I lose my train of thought. So we'll dump the onion soup mix in, and I know some people, it's all personal preference. It's kind of whatever you prefer. I know some people will do like Italian seasoning packets in there, and like I said, there's no set way. This is just what we prefer. And then with this, we'll stir that around, and then we'll mix everything together. All right, so this is what it'll look like, all incorporated. And then you can take your beef broth and you can just add little by little. And then you'll add, stir, and rinse and repeat that step until you get a proper consistency for what you prefer. And it's, again, personal preference. If you like it, more on the soupy side, you can add a lot more. But I'll probably add a little bit more. Boom. And then just incorporate that. So I'll go ahead and finish this gravy up and probably end up adding a little more beef broth, and then I'll see you guys in the next bit. All right, so now it is time. And I forgot to mention earlier, when you're searing, you don't have to necessarily do even the sides. Just the main surfaces, the top and bottom of the chuck roast is what I usually do. And there's no right or wrong. So there's that. I'm gonna set this over here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and prep this stuff, and I'll see you guys when it's time for that. And guys, before I clean up the area, the one thing that you can see here, sorry, I'm moving that around. The juices within the cast iron skillet, this is great for the gravy. So then you can just add that in like so, mix that all around. And then that, like I said, that's just like the best part of the gravy right there. So that's that. I'm gonna mix that around and I'll see you in the next bit. All right, so then now with our gravy, and again, we doubled the recipe because we really liked gravy. We'll just dump that out and make sure that we cover the chuck roast. And right here, we have the spatula to make sure that we get every little bit of gravy out of there, because this is the best part right here. So that's that. Set that aside. And then you just want to make sure everything's covered. Boom. Good to go. Here we go. And then what we'll do is we'll wrap the chuck roast. So then bring it to the top, hold down, and then you kind of want to just roll, and then you can like press. And then the same thing on this side. I'll stand over here. Gotta get the good angle now. There's that. We'll roll, we'll tuck. And then we already have the oven preheated to 350. So that's good to go. So what we'll do is we'll just stick the chuck roast in. And this will be minimum 3 hours. The crock pot, it depends on the heat of, or I guess the type of crock pot and the size of the meat that you have going into the crock pot. But that can range anywhere from 6 to, I've seen even some recipes have 10 hours. So minimum 3 hours in our oven. And then we'll go ahead and prep some other ingredients. We are adding vegetables, but that won't go in until later, because if you add it in too soon or too early, the vegetables will become mush because the meat isn't fully cooked yet. So that's why we want to add it toward the later part. So that's that. I'll see you then. All right, so we're not adding the vegetables, but while the meat is in the oven, what we'll do is we'll just prep them. So right here, easy to go, carrots, they're ready. All you have to do is just take them out of the bag and, and put them in. So that's good to go. We'll also be doing potatoes, and then we have some sliced mushrooms. And you can use whatever vegetables, celery. I know people will add onions to it as well. Just really depends on what you prefer and what you like. So that's that. So with the potatoes first, we'll skin them, and then we'll cut them into chunks. And then a good tip, just in case if you don't know, have a bowl of water ready, and then you can put your chunks of potato in there, and that'll keep the potatoes and save them from turning brown. So I'll go ahead and skin this, and I'll see you guys in the next bit. Alright guys, so it's been about two hours and 15 minutes of being in the oven. So we just took it out to take a look, and here's what we're currently looking at. And it's gonna need about an hour longer. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is we drain the potatoes. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, it helps prevent the potatoes from browning. So as you can see, they look very, very fresh. So I'll drop the potatoes in the gravy for the most part. All right, so that's it for the potatoes. And then for the carrots, we'll just take some handfuls and, tuck them in around the sides. There. All right, and then we have our jar of sliced mushrooms. And with this, you can kind of sprinkle all around as well. And then this can also go on top of the chuck roast itself. So do that. Boom, boom, boom. And I just got instruction from the cameraman that she likes a lot more mushrooms in there, so I'm going to add more than that. So boom.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so that's that. And as I said earlier, this will be the final hour. So what I'm going to do is going to roll it back up, just like we did earlier. Push that down. And the oven will still remain at 350 degrees. I was gonna say 350 degrees. Ooh, almost just touched the fan. That would not have been good. So we got the sous chef standing guard. Make sure everything's all right. There we go. And about 45 to an hour. Okay, so 45 to an hour. That's what we're gonna do. And you can always, the best thing is just keep an eye on it. And I'll see you guys when it's time for that. All right, and we also decided to make some rice. So waiting for that to finish up. All right, so it is done, and here's what we're looking at. A good way to test too is you can see the meat is easily falling apart or breaking apart, I should say. And then a test for the potatoes and carrots, you can just take a fork and push down, and that's that. So if the potatoes aren't cooked, they'll be hard, and same thing with the carrots. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my plate, and I will see you guys then. All right, and here's the final bowl, and I have the rice on the bottom, soaking up all that gravy. Let's go ahead and start eating. All right, guys, and that concludes today's video. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for stopping by, tuning in, and supporting me in this channel. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below if you do give this meal a try. It's, like I said, it's one of my favorite meals. And on a side note, we're currently at 145 subscribers. So again, thank you all for your continuous support. We're inching closer and closer to 200, and that is the next big milestone here for this channel. So yeah, make sure to leave some comments down below. I always enjoy interacting with you guys and seeing what you guys are up to. But as always, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a great upcoming week, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.